What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Reformed Reader, the channel where we review different forms of media through the lens of a Christian who is under the authority of the scriptures. And today I'm going to be doing a review of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. Now let's start with, what is this book about? Berlin, 1942. When Bruno returns home from school one day, he discovers that his belongings are being packed in crates. His father has received a promotion, and the family must move to a new house far, far away, where there is no one to play with and nothing to do. A tall fence stretches as far as the eye can see, and cuts him off from the strange people in the distance. But Bruno longs to be an explorer, and decides that there must be more to this desolate new place than meets the eye. While exploring his new environment, he meets another boy whose life and circumstances are very different from his own, and their meeting results in a friendship that has devastating consequences. So let's go into a little more detail about what this book is about. Maybe you haven't heard of this book before, or maybe you haven't seen the movie adaptation. So let's talk about what this book is about. This is a story that follows a young boy whose father is a Nazi general in World War II. And he gets a promotion where they have to move to Poland in this new house that's really far away from where he's from in Berlin. While he's out playing, he's looking for something to occupy his time. He finds this fence. He goes to the fence and realizes there's these strange people inside this fence. They must be farmers who all wear the same striped pajamas. So obviously, this is not giving anything away, but obviously you learn very quickly that this boy's father, Bruno's father, this Nazi general, is over a concentration camp, and that's what Bruno stumbles upon. And while he has been forbidden to go exploring any further, of course, as any 8 or 9-year-old boy will do, he defies his parents. He goes exploring, and he meets a new friend who is on the other side of the fence. I don't want to go into too many details or too many spoilers, so let's talk about the way I do my reviews. I go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's talk about the good. This, to me, is a perfect book. It is such a great way to tell a very particular story, and to see a different perspective, or to see this story from a different perspective, particularly from an 8 or 9-year-old little boy, because this story does span over just a little bit of time, where Bruno, when we begin the story, Bruno is 8, and by the end of the story, Bruno has turned 9. But from the eyes of an 8-year-old boy who doesn't really understand his circumstances or what's going on in his environment, all he knows is that his dad is very important. He doesn't really know what his dad's job is, but he does know that he wears kind of a funny uniform with all these fancy and flashy things attached to it. So let's talk about the writing style. I think that John Boyne, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is an absolutely genius author. He was able to articulate things in such a unique way. So one of the examples of why I think Boyne's writing is brilliant is because he uses the character of Bruno, he uses his ignorance or his lack of understanding the circumstances around him as a literary device, with little things here and there. One of which is Bruno's parents are going to be holding a dinner party for somebody very important. He doesn't really understand who or why. This is while they're in Berlin. He keeps hearing his parents refer to this person as the Fury, that the Fury is coming to dinner. He doesn't really understand who or what that is. He just knows that his dad works for the Fury. Now, obviously, as an adult reader, we understand, we can connect those dots that he's referring to the Führer, which is Adolf Hitler himself, had come to dinner and was ordering that his father and his family were going to be relocated to oversee this concentration camp. Now, I've heard some people argue since reading this book that, that doesn't really translate well because of the translation. They say things like, well, obviously he wouldn't be called the Fury because it's in English and how that translates into German. It's like, yes, but that's not the point. The point is that he's getting across to us that this 8-year-old boy doesn't understand what's going on around him, but apparently it's important, and so he's just going to go along with what his family decides. But then we also see how selfish an 8-year-old boy can be, because he's so worried about his friends, or he's so worried about being able to play with people, that he doesn't really care about anything else. The way that Boyne is able to write an 8-year-old boy is second to none. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this book is it is very, very short. I think it's like 150 pages. It's right at 200 pages, but the font is pretty big. But like I said, the pacing in this book is perfect. Prose is extremely accessible. I think this is actually has become a required reading in some schools. I enjoyed this book so much, and I thought it was so important that this is now a required reading for my own children when I think they're old enough. So let's talk about the bad. What did I not like about this book? There is literally nothing about this book that I did not enjoy. I have nothing negative to say. The way that everything was explained, the way it was all articulated and conveyed to the reader, it was exactly what the author intended, and it was exactly how I wanted to read it. Now, again, this is a personal preference thing, but I could not find a single fault with this book. It is absolutely excellent. I mean, there are moments in this book. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a heartbreaking book, because there's moments in this book where you see these truly heartwarming and emotional and generous moments between some of these characters. And then the author just rips your heart out of your chest and is unapologetic about it. There really is nothing wrong with this book, in my opinion. So that leads me to the last question, which is, should a Christian read this book? I'm not going to say that they should read it. I'm saying that they must. This is such a fantastic book. It really describes two different lives going on in World War II. Now, I think this book has such importance that not only schools, but parents and people are forgetting how important this history or this event in history truly was for us, and what a huge impact it had on the world. It is the story of the second worst human action against another person in history, second only to the crucifixion, is how the Jewish people were treated during World War II. And so we get a just different perspective from the point of view of a German boy and from the point of view of a Jewish boy, and how they're trying to comprehend and cope with what's going on around them. Now, if you have seen the movie already, read this anyway. This is far superior to the movie. Now, I understand some of the changes they had to make in order to make the movie work, but this was perfect. The movie, to me, had problems, and I actually watched the movie the day that I finished this, because I had to see it again. This far surpasses the film. Now, if you haven't seen the film, please read this first. Please do. This is so good. Again, you could sit down and read this in a day. I think it took me a day and a half to finish this book, and I wasn't even reading it. I wasn't even being intentional about trying to finish it quickly. It's just each chapter pulls you in, and it makes you want to finish it. Now, this is coming from somebody that loves World War II history, but I can't recommend this book enough to enough people. I don't think Christians should just read it. I think the entire world needs to read this book to get a perspective and to be reminded of not only the generosity that can be shown, but the wickedness that people are capable of. So, should a Christian read this? 100% absolutely. If you are not a big reader and you're still watching this video for some reason, pick this up. I mean, you can finish this in no time. It is such a quick read. And even though it's extremely short, this book is going to leave a lasting imprint on you. So do yourself a favor, pick this book up and let me know what you think about it, because it has become one of my all-time favorite books. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But more importantly, if you have friends that are Christian brothers and sisters who love to read, please share this channel. Please share this video to other Christians, because this is the reason why I do it. Not so I can get likes or subscriptions or anything like that. Not even because I'm comfortable in front of the camera, because I'm not, but because I hope that I can help direct other brothers and sisters in Christ to media that is not only edifying, but they can spend their time and money more wisely towards those things than maybe some of the others. So please, if you have a Christian brother or sister that loves to read, please share this video or share this channel with them. I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much again. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these videos, or let me know what book I should pick up next. And if there's nothing else, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.